I pray to the divinity in you. Do you have valid questions? Okay.
If one makes the inner journey in order to hear one's conscience, how does one validate that the voice that one hears is one's true conscious and not one aspect of the mind masquerading as the conscience?
Inner conscience receives knowledge through intuition, which is finest of all knowledge we have. There is intuitive library within. It is beyond our sense perception, beyond our mind, and closest to the source of light and life and knowledge within us. It does not need any confirmation, evidence at all, because when you know, and now that you know, there is no problem at all. But as far as the knowledge of mind is concerned, you always doubt. You search for evidence. You want confirmation from various quarters. That is the difference. Let you learn to put yourself into silence. Let me tell you all meditators, one thing. Highest of all enjoyments that ever you can receive is in deep silence. Deep silence can give you that which no one can give you. Don't be defeatists saying, "Oh, sleep is sweet. Death is better. And not to be born is the best." There are people, you see. So see the difference. There are people who think that sleep is the best. As long as we remain awake, mind jabbers, discusses, talks, goes here and there, roams around. So it is better that we go to deep sleep, remain free from the problems of day-to-day life. And some think death is very good, you see. Others think that not to be born is good. But there is difference between the sannyasins, the renunciates, and those people who think that not to be born is good. They don't think that not to be born is good. For death and birth are under their conscious control. If they want to be born, they will be born to serve others. They are not born because they are ignorant and death and birth become ground for them. No. Death and birth do not create problem for those who are liberated. So don't be defeatists. The closest, nearest, dearest friend of yours is within you, and that is called your own Atman. From where that Atman, from where do you receive the knowledge? Any lowest type of knowledge, knowledge of the senses, knowledge through senses, all from Atman, you see, all from within you. Once you come to know your true self, then you come to know that self is self of all. Brahman. Self of all means Brahman. Your true self means Atman. The Upanishad say, I am Atma, Brahma. When you use both words together, you come to know the difference. The word Atman has been used for the inner dweller, Brahman is used for the inner dwellers of all. Here the Shruti or mantra says that non-dual Atman. Atman is inner dweller whom you call God. There are no two gods. But when we use the word gods, they mean senses. G-O-D-S. But when we talk of God, there is only one God. There is nothing like Christian God, Judaism God, or Buddhist God, Hindu God, or Islamic God. There is only one Atman who is the inner dweller. Okay, if Atman is inner dweller, who are you? What is your position? That you think today you are body, you are breath, you are senses, you are mind, that much you know. But you are not, because you are not body alone. You can easily touch, grab your body and say, yes, I have body. You want to do same thing with your Atman. And that can be done, provided you apply the formula rightly. So your Atman is beyond your body, breath, senses, pranas, and mind, all faculties of mind. So what is your position that you call myself, your mere self? I told you the definition of mere self and real self yesterday. Body, senses, breath, and conscious mind is one unit that is called mortal part of your life. Unconscious mind, a great ledger, a great book of accounts of your life. The reservoirs is vehicle that you use, and as long as you are using that vehicle, you are called jiva, individual soul. The moment you don't use it, you are free. That's your choice. But what do you become then? You become a shrine, because Atman is inner dweller. God is within you. So when God is within you, who are you? Where does He dwell? He dwells in the shrine, in the chapel, in the church, in the temple, in the mosque. You are a living shrine of the Lord. That's what you mean. Do you ever realize that? No. Because you do not realize that, you suffer. And you make others suffer who are associated with you. So remember and be aware of this truth, that you are shrine and the inner dweller is Atman, Lord of life within you. There cannot be two lords. That's why it is called that non-dual Atman, though never stirring. How do you prove that he does not move? There is no space where he moves, because he is everywhere. One proof, we will logically and mechanically try to prove. Now, imagine a wheel. You see, wheel rotates. How wheel rotates? Wheel rotates because of the spokes. And who rotates the spokes? Because of the hub. Have you ever noticed that hub does not move? If hub moves, the wheel will not move. So deep down in the inner chamber of our being, there is someone silently seated who does not move, yet makes all entire system, our being, move. So there is no movement, there is no string. Swifter than mind. It has no movement. It is faster than mind, because it is everywhere. No matter how fast mind runs, faster than light, faster than wind, faster than sound, is mind. No matter how fast mind moves, it's already there. That's why it is called faster than mind. The devas means senses. It comes from its root deva. Senses. Senses reveal knowledge to you. You use senses to communicate with others. They are communicators of our external. They are in the external world. That's why they are called deva. Cannot reach there. Cannot reach to the kingdom of Atman. How big telescope you have, and you can use that telescope to see sun, moon and stars. But turn that telescope towards yourself, it is useless. No matter how powerful instruments you have, means you have, you cannot use those means to attain Atman, to attain the kingdom, to attain that reality, truth within yourself. Now, there is another world, Atman, the Vayu, the world soul, covers all the activities of all. The first principle that manifested, that which is cause of manifestation, that Hiranyagarbha, that also is called Vayu. Vayu is not mere air. When you talk of prana, the word prana is not mere air. You can easily pump air in somebody's system, yet he will be not alive. You are not living because of the air. Prana is that unit of life which is called Vayu. You see. It moves now. See, little bit of contradiction you will find in the fifth mantra. If you do not pay attention, if you do not understand what the great sages are talking. Are they talking to you? No. They are talking to their disciples, whom they have trained for a long time, who are fully prepared and ready, who understand the language, who understand the symbols. So you have to follow them, you have to understand their language. As I told you, many a times apostles or disciples who lived with Jesus Christ did not understand his language and said, Lord, do not talk in parables, for we do not understand your language. I tell you something, my master used to remain in silence most of the time. Nobody could interpret him whenever he said, Because you don't know what does it mean. But I alone could interpret correctly, because I used to live with him. Whenever I say, so I would understand. I would say, no, he doesn't want this, you know. So his who was interpreted by me in many ways. And I would correctly interpret, but nobody would do that. Whenever I was here and there, other Swamis used to come. Will you please come? What he is saying? He said, I said, he doesn't like this. That's what he's saying. You see. The symbolic language is not understood by those who did not sit close enough to understand their language, their thoughts, because they are deep, full of love, full of knowledge, with all profundity. It moves and it does not move. It makes others to move, but it does not move. Now, imagine there is a long rod of steel, iron. It's not quality of iron to burn your hands. It's not inherent quality. It cannot burn anything. But if one end is in the fire, the other end can burn you. Not because of its qualities, because it's very close, it's in the fire. One point, one end is in the fire. So once your mind is made one-pointed and inward, such a mind, such a purified mind has power to lead you closer to the Atman. It moves and it does not move. Where is it? It's far and far away. Your mind cannot reach. And it's the closest to you, within you. Your very being is because of its existence. So that is it's far away and very close, near to you. It is inside all. It is not only inside me and you, it is inside all. And it's outside all. You see. Verily, it's all Brahman. If you remain in Brahman consciousness all the time, you can never hate anybody. Whenever you hate, it means your devil within you, ego, is playing mischief with you, and that's why you are hating somebody. There is nothing good and bad. Thinking makes it so. You see. When you do not love, means you are not aware of the Atman. When you have hatred, you have jealousy, you have selfishness, means these demons are the products of your selfish ego, and they do not behave because you are not aware of the truth. During that time, you are enveloped by the ignorance created by your mind. So let you remember, whenever you are angry, you are jealous, you hate others, you don't love, it means you are forgetting your true self, and that is called ignorance. You have to dispel the ignorance and let you learn to live. How many you learn to live? You are living, but you have not learned the art of living and being. I can see the way you walk. You walk as though the pressure of the whole universe is on your shoulders. And you have come to dispel the darkness, and you are the only person and you are responsible for everything. In the name of responsibility, you become very selfish, egotistical. You should learn to be cheerful and happy by discharging your duties as much as you can do. Whatever you can do. Tap your three sources, mind, action and speech that you have, and you will be able to discharge your duties nicely. But when you discharge your duties, remember the technique of doing your duties. With all your skills, with full of love and non-attachment, you should learn to do your duties. Many of you think, how it is possible, how can I love my wife if I am not attached to her? Well, you are loving your wife according to your own way for your selfishness. You are not actually loving her when you are attached to her. You are possessing her. You think that she is a piece of furniture at your home, something nice, something wonderful that you need, without which you cannot live. That's not true. She is a being, exactly like you. You see? When you learn to love her, you should learn to love her through soul, not through body. When you learn to love your partner through soul, then you will see real Atman in her, not only body. This social chaos all over the world is going on because of this error. Today you love somebody because that object of your love looks nice. Tomorrow that object changes, because change is dharma of the objects. All the form change. Thus their name change. And this is dharma, this is nature, this is reality. How it is possible for you to love somebody and hate next day? Either you have become selfish or he has become selfish. There is something wrong somewhere. You should learn to examine these things and see that you do not create useless work, duties for yourself. It's a useless duty. Divorcing one and getting married to somebody, then divorcing her, getting married to her. I met somebody from California who married 9 times. And I asked her one day, I was so interested to know. I said, why did you do that? She said, I always used to get married to old man and have his wealth when he died, and I served him and looked after him, did my duties, looked after him very well, and he would leave money with me, and I have plenty of money. Do you need some? I said, no, thank you. I don't need. You see. Marriage is not that something, this union is not that something which is for superficial purpose. Not at all. When we talk of Ishopanishad, there comes a simile, illustration. It's like a wheel. Life is like a wheel, and you, 2 partners are like 2 wheels in life. Yes, sometimes you cannot adjust, I know. 2 good people are also not compatible. I can understand that. But then at the same time, it should not become habit of our society. This way, our future citizens, our children, suffer. And when they suffer, they follow the same path and they become irresponsible. This way, society does not reach anywhere. We are not attaining anything. In 1,000 years' time, humanity has not attained anything new. It has attained certain scientific heights to kill and destroy other nations, other human beings, but it has not attained anything creative. More diseases you will find, more problems you will find. The diseases which you never heard and imagined before, which were not there, are there, though we think we are scientifically advanced and we are very comfortable and we have known something about nature. But we have forgotten that something, Atman, that which moves with us wherever we move. Human being is greatest among all, even greatest than God. Why? You human being own God, keep God within you and move anywhere you want. You are such great. You see? This finite being carries infinity all the time. What greatness do you want? Why are you not God? You are God. Because God is within you. All the time you carry God wherever you go. You are never alone. You are always with Him. You are in His company. But there are two types of people. What is the difference? If you are in the company of the Lord, why are you suffering? You are in the company of the Lord and you are still suffering means, suppose two people go to see a king or a president of a country. One goes and sleeps there, another converses, talks. One who is sleeping is still there, very close to the president, but is not enjoying the company of the president. And one is conversing. This is the case that you are suffering. You are very close to the Atman, you are there, but you are sleeping. And that's why Upanishad says, Utishita, wake up. Jagrata prapya varanna bodhata. Wake up and remain awake. Remain aware of the truth. Remain aware of the reality. Do not suffer. Self-created suffering is there. We always say, because of Maya, we are suffering. Some of the ignorant say, oh, woman is Maya. Wealth is Maya. Home is Maya. They should be renounced. Home is home, woman is woman, wealth is wealth. It's not Maya. Maya is anarvachiniyam. But when we filter in our daily life, we can see our attachment towards woman, wealth, home, anything that is beautiful, not proper understanding, not knowing the right way of living, being, and communicating with others, creates problem for us. You have to remember Atman all the time. The wise man beholds all beings in the self and the self in all beings. So wise is he who sees his being in others and others in himself. They don't have any chance to hate others. So wise alone can love. Wise knows the meaning of love. Wise knows how to express love with mind, action, and speech. And wise is he who sees all in himself and himself in all. It's mukti, it's salvation. He is liberated here and now. Now, wise man, if you go to see a wise man, you don't find him having two horns or big tail. Or he doesn't see through his ears. Wise man looks exactly like you. You see. Thinks like you, but the difference is he looks like you. He is without fears. He will never hate you. You have full of fears. You create defense mechanism immediately. And one of the great sages says, why do people fight? Because they go on building defenses for a long time to protect themselves. And that self-defense makes them offensive. That's why they fight. They do not understand each other's language. That's why they fight. How will they understand? Because there is no love. Among all the languages of the world, the language of the love is most ancient. These languages have no meaning. Big, tall sentences and big words will not do anything. You cannot live with bread alone. You cannot live with modern amenities alone if there is no love. You will see life is vacant and empty. You see, you are prepared to live even in gutter if you get love, real love, true love, pure love, unselfish love. So the difference between wise men and this, wise men's activities are free, devoted for others. Because he has known the technique of life. In a way, he is utterly selfish, wise man. I am going to prove. Because he has known that by doing actions, he cannot live without doing actions. He has to, no matter who he is. It's a law. And whenever he does the actions, he receives the fruits. And again those fruits motivate him to do more actions, such as you build a home. You are so excited, oh, I am going to build a home. After you have built home, you know the same amount of money you need again to decorate it, to equip it. What I mean to say? A wise man does actions, you also do action. Why do I say he's utterly selfish? Because he knows that action binds him. And first bondage is bondage created by his own actions. So first freedom is freedom from all actions. Bondage is created by the actions. Who creates the bondage? Not the action. The fruits therein you receive. So wise man knows this. So what trick does he play? Because he offers all his fruits for others. And goes on doing his actions. See, he has known the technique. He continues doing his actions because he cannot live without doing them. Even a sannyasin who has renounced does his actions. You see. But no actions will bind him, because he does actions for the sake of others. Means actions he does, but fruits he gives to others. Why others? Why should I give to others, to my neighbors, other people, which is not me? Because wise man sees Atman in all and all in his own Atman. Actually, he is doing it for self. And you are doing for the petty self, not for the real self. That's why you are suffering. Simply you have to change a little bit the concept. That which you are doing today, go on doing it. But with the awareness that you are doing for all and not for yourself. If you do for yourself, you are doomed. You are drowned. If you do for others, you swim, cross the mire of delusion and reach there. That's what benefit is. Now, the way you think, wise man also thinks. But there is slight difference. You think and keep it in your heart and mind. The difference between you and wise is this, that anything comes, they also understand. All things pass through their mind, but they don't allow them to stay in the mind, to keep the impression of that thought in the unconscious mind. Do not allow them to become the part of their habit. Ordinary people do it. If you are negative, you will only remember what your husband said negatively. In anger, by chance he said, "You stupid." You will never forgive him. He says, "Honey, please forgive me. I said it because I am stupid." She will not forget. Oh, that day you said stupid. So there are people who brood negatively all the time. Wise men do not do that. If you want to be wise, you should learn to forget and forgive. If you cannot forget, forgive it. It will lose its importance. You see. So remember that, how wise people live. They see all beings in themselves and themselves in all. They never hate anyone. Are you angry with me? You ask your teacher. Why, teacher, should I be angry with you? A good father, good parents will never get angry when the child sits and spoils the lap. Knowingly, in excitement, when the husband, when the father goes outside and wears his suit and is going to the office and holds the child, suddenly child spoils the suit. Out of excitement and love, the child does that. A father knows it. He enjoys that situation. A wise man enjoys the situation no matter what you do, what you say, your actions against him or anything. Because he is wise. He has no time for destruction. He doesn't want to destroy others. He doesn't want to hate others. In your relationship, you should apply this formula. Remember this. I want to tell you something. It's very important because life and relationship are one and the same. This coin of life has two sides. One is called life, another is called relationship. Very important to understand. From a spiritual viewpoint also, I would like to tell you that you should have good relationship with your spouse, with your friends, with your children, with others, wherever you are. You should learn to be communicative. You should have good relationship, because then you do not have adverse way of thinking, brooding against them, planning and scheming. You see? And you are happy within yourself. So-called love of yours has less power than the power of hatred. Have you seen one thing? Whomever you hate, you concentrate more on him. Your mind is spontaneously concentrates on that person. You don't have to sit for that. And whomever you love, you have to make all the efforts to meditate, but you cannot. So your so-called love has very little power than hatred. But the great sages knew this. They developed the power of love. Ahimsa pratishtayam tat sannidho vairityaga, Yoga Sutra says. They knew the expression of love is ahimsa. Not to harm, not to hurt, not to kill, not to injure anyone. Practice it at home. Your home means what? Your home is a training ground. It's a wonderful place, playground, where you have all the things to play with, to give you joy. But it's a training ground, don't forget. It trains you. Many of the parents which they do not learn from the books, they learn through a small child. And they accept it. Yes, which we never knew and learned, what this child is teaching us. This is the training ground. You get opportunity to be trained. You are greater than the renunciates. Because renunciates do not have anything, they renounce everything, they depend for their bread on you people, householders. So when I compare, you have all the means. When I compare them, they have all the time. If they don't use their time rightly, they are wasting their time and energy. If you do not use your means nicely, you are wasting your life. All the means that you have, you should apply all the means at your disposal and see that you don't have any obstacles in your growth. I have never seen in 1,000 years' time any new philosophy, any new concept. Many charters are being made by the leaders of the world according to their own convenience. This charter and that charter and UN and this and this. I call them clubs for their own amusement, you see. So we human beings individually have responsibility towards society, because society means collective human beings, a group of human beings. If we individuals do not take that responsibility, how our society is going to improve? We are expecting to dawn a new culture. But that culture will come from where? The culture of the Upanishad was greatest. Ishopanishad came out with the, statement. He said, after studying many books, he said, it's solace of my life and it will be solace of my death. You see, the gems of the Upanishads. Because during those days, the culture that developed between the two fully prepared students. Not only mere eager to learn the knowledge, to have the knowledge, to attain the bliss, to attain their goal, but knowledge, burning knowledge within, and then they went to the teacher. Teacher also, with all their generosity. No fee. There was no fee during that time. Under the trees, in the caves, in the forest dwelling, they used to live. You see. None of the rishi was sannyasi, initiate. All were married. Sometimes they have 2 wives, 3 wives, more than that. Because I think during that time there were many women and less men. Possibly. Yes. It happens. There is imbalance in the world whenever there are calamities and wars. You see. Yajnavalkya, a great sage, once wanted to renounce. So for renunciation, you need permission from 2. If you are not married, you need permission from your mother. If you are married, you need permission from your wife. If she doesn't permit you, you cannot renounce, because you are not doing your duties. But if she gets fed up from you because of your behavior, she might give you permission. It happens. Many of the Swamis do like that. When they become Swamis, they start behaving, they will cry all the time, they will not sleep, they will not eat. So woman thinks, what is all this? This is not healthy, he might die. Better let him go, let him live wherever he lives. Shankaracharya, when wanted to renounce, mother wouldn't permit. Such a young, beautiful, handsome boy. He went to take bath, and he said, now the crocodile has got hold of my foot and says, if you renounce, I will release, otherwise not. Mother, what have you to say? So mother said, okay, you take sannyasa, you renounce the world, if crocodile leaves. So crocodile immediately left. Because it was his own will, he wanted to create this commotion, so that mother gives him permission. You see. But none of them was a sannyasi. The product of Upanishad was given by the great seers, and they all were married. So don't be disappointed that you have to retire, you have to go to the forest dwellings or somewhere in a remote corner in the Himalayas or by the river banks, somewhere where odd ducks live, and you have to live there. You don't have to live wherever you are, but learn the technique of living and being. That's important. If you learn the technique of living being, do you mean to say it will emancipate you? No. The Upanishads say no. But it will be a great help to you. It will not create problems for you. World should be arranged in a way. There are only two views. Either you do your actions so perfectly and you do all the good actions and there is nothing bad in it, that good action might lead you to the other shore of life. But it's not sure. One point. Second point. Let you learn to arrange your external affairs in a way so that they do not create barriers in your progress. I think second point seems to be valid. Don't become reactionary if someone says something bad and just answer immediately. Don't do that. Wise people do not do that. Because they all the time see themselves in others and others in themselves. They don't have any opportunity, any time, any feeling, any thought of hating others. To the seer, all the things verily become the self. In their way of development, if you practice at home and slowly practice and watch your practice, what happens? 2 days you will meditate and third day you will say you have not seen anything, you have not seen any color, you have not seen any light, so there is nothing in meditation. As you breathe, and breath is important for you, so you should not forget that meditation is also important for you. Meditation strengthens your awareness. Learn to meditate on the inner dweller within you. Do not learn to meditate on anything, any object, anything outside you. First point. This will help you. That there is something very close, that is, he is already within me. One point. You will have self-confidence. Oh, the great Lord is within me. You see. Later on we will discuss the entire philosophy of contemplation and meditation according to the Upanishads. Delusion and sorrow. Tattako soka kamoha ekatvam manupashyata. Those who have learned to love all because all are in him and he is in all, why should they grieve? Why should they have sorrow? Where is the place of sorrow and grief in their life? Grief comes when you isolate yourself from others. Once, one totally illiterate person was telling somebody, remember what I am saying, you will not find in the book. So I also started being attentive. Who creates hell for you? He said, there is a hell. It is not written anywhere. It is called hell created by you. So I said, what was he talking? Let me hear what he says. He said, Chinta, worry creates hell for the individual. You worry all the time, what more hell do you need? If you are in the hell, created by you. And Chitta, he said, cremation ground cremates your body, not soul. But this is living cremation. You see. More painful than the cremation of the body. Constantly you worry. Why do you want to worry? Tell me first. You don't want to worry. You have not trained yourself. You want something, and if you are not getting it, you get upset and you worry. There is always a desire beneath your worry. That desire is not being fulfilled, so you get angry, frustrated and worried. Learn to watch your desires and see how many desires. If you want to know your personality, just sit down with a paper and pencil. Do not do one day, tell your spouse, tell your people you need some quietness, and have a paper and pencil and find out how many desires do you have. Very few desires. But what happens when you do not arrange your desires properly, then you get new desires every day. Because desires breed desires. So if you do not arrange your desires properly, learn to manage your desires properly, they breed many other desires. Suppose you see a woman in the church. She is your neighbor. She is wearing beautiful gown and you are not. Her ring is diamond ring bigger than of yours. Did you go to the church to see her gown and ring? No. But you have not disciplined yourself, you have not trained yourself, so you forgot what the priest says, what the minister says, you are looking at her, frowning your face and eyes. It happened with me when I went to Minneapolis. A doctor took me, one of the doctors took me to the church. It was a Greek church. Just in front of me there was a woman. And she was doing all this. And I said, what's this? Is this the part of the service? She said, it's not part of the service, but this woman is crazy. You see, she's jealous of that other woman. They both are neighbors, I know them. I am also their neighbor. I said, look here. They are jealous of each other and you are looking them, so you three are wasting my time. And I am also looking at you people. So I have come to see Greek Orthodox Church, what type of ceremony you perform, what a waste of time. So 10 people were watching and our time was wasted. We get involved uselessly. Don't get involved in any such negative thing and waste your time and energy. You have got very little time at your disposal. You have a vast work to accomplish. You have to attain the kingdom of Atman, and it's not far away from you. It's within you. Tadvejati tannejati taddure tadamke tanut, says the mantra. What is sorrow for that? What grief? One who has realized your leader, your prophet, you do not follow him. If you are a follower of Moses, you do not follow him. If you are a follower of Jesus, you don't follow him. Did Jesus say, forgive me, don't crucify me? Crucifixion, pain and sorrow was nothing for him because he knew Atman. He knew, he was wise. You see, all the problems Moses had to go when he went to the deep mountain. But he never ran away from there. So life is a battlefield. Do not create more battles for yourself. That's the point. First thing. Do not uselessly involve in useless talks and useless deeds which hamper your progress and create more obstacles for you. The delusion that is created by your sorrowful mind. What happens when you are so full of sorrow and pain, created by yourself? You don't think rightly. Your faculties of mind do not function. And any judgment you take will be wrong. Often you come out with the statement, whatever I do is wrong. I immediately think, this person doesn't know how to think rightly, so he cannot do rightly, he cannot take right decision. Oh, perhaps my fate is like that. What do you mean by fate, sir? Why your fate is like this? Why not others' fate? You see? Who creates this fate for you? You create your own fate. Fate means that which you have done in the past. That creates your fate. You are the creator of your fate. You are the creator of your destiny. Why do you say that? You say, anything I do, that doesn't work. You see. Because you do not do things properly with clarity of mind. You are not working with your mind. Let you learn to work within yourself. Do not allow your mind to create a delusion. Because sorrow and misery will create that delusion for you. And mind, one of the finest instruments that you have, you are not using it. Not learning to use mind and its functions properly, one point. And to be another side very lazy. Okay, my teacher told me not to allow mind to be used badly. You are not using it at all. What is this called? Sloth and inertia. For such people have no joy in life. Such people do not have any joy in life. You have certain worldly wishes and they are not fulfilled. So you think you are good for nothing. You don't have any joy. It's good that world disappointed me so that I can see beyond this. Gita says, it's the grace of God. You see. If someone doesn't have anyone, I am sure that such person is picked up by the Lord. I am yours if you don't have anybody. The day you come to know that you don't have anybody, Lord is yours. But surely you don't have anybody. You have desires. Desires are your wealth. You see, desires do create delusion for you. So remember this. Tatsaka ka suka kamoka moha ekatvam manupashyata. The wise who has understood this mystery, who has solved this mystery, who has known life with all its values, with currents and cross currents, such as says, for him there is no sorrow, there is no grief. I told you, those wise men were not swamis, they were householders. Why the householders cannot become wise? So there is a chance for you all to become wise. Will you please start right from today and have that faith that you have all the powers, instrumentation, all that you need. You simply have to turn your mind inwards. God bless you. Peace, peace, peace.